Denver, Colorado, Denver Athletic Club, WPH Edel Handball race for A quarterfinals. Armando Ortiz going up against rival Emmett Peixoto. Mondo, one of the top players, if not the top player in Southern California right now. The hottest player in Northern California, Emmett Peixoto. They battle each other in practice, on the Pro Tour, the California Cup. Emmett recently went down and sparred with Mondo at the LAAC. Emmett representing the Olympic Club, so there's a rivalry between those two facilities. And now they have the rivalry brought here to Denver, Colorado, as Emmett wearing his Edel Handball sponsored gear. Going to get that first serve. Anthony Celesto is the referee. My name is Dave Vincent. In the booth is David Fink, who's going to be giving us some reports from the GAA All-Ireland Handball Championships as well, Dave.
Quick point for Emmett as Mondo makes an error with his left hand. Emmett slid the sidewall perfectly on that ceiling shot. Very difficult to play the ceiling here because of the altitude. The ball flies. It's almost impossible to keep the ball off the back wall when you hit the ceiling. So if you do hit the ceiling, you'll have to keep it close to the side walls. Looks like we're looking for some line judges here.
It's frustrating as a player that you play one point and then all of a sudden your referee doesn't have all the tools in the quiver.
A lot of people in the gallery here saying Emmett maybe should have done some more curls before putting that shirt on, but nonetheless.
Well, there's just a lot of people in the gallery. I want to point that out first of all.
Armando's been very, very focused here this week. From the time he touched down in Denver, it's as though he's been on the court in the finals. Even as he eats dinner, the guy is seriously focused.
Can't hear the referee's voice through our headsets, but we're getting good at reading lips.
And that's just a point that most guys on the tour can't play. I mean, Armando hits a serve 6 inches high on the front wall and then hits a shoulder height kill.
Short ball.
One thing Mondo's not given a lot of credit for is his retrieving ability. He gets to everything, and he doesn't just get there. He gets there and hits flat rollouts.
Wow. Look how he sets up for that ball off the back wall.
Well,
so
I believe Mondo's advantage is he's so low to the ground that if you don't hit a flat roll, it's basically a setup for him. Look at these great serves, and Emmett does well to defend them. But Mondo already with 3 consecutive kills, and Emmett's maybe thinking about a timeout already.
Yeah, this is tough. You don't want to take that timeout too quickly in this 25-point format and this altitude. But Emmett's certainly thinking about it, and I know it will be called if Mondo scores another point here.
Mondo misses the corner kill there, and Emmett takes care of his favorite shot, the left-hand re-kill.
Side out.
But you know, a lot of times when you're really fit, you just use your timeouts as strategic. But here you have to factor in the exhaustion because of the air. So Emmett may not want to burn a timeout here early, knowing that this could become a very physical match, and he may need those timeouts to recover.
This is the second serve. You remember that California Cup, which is basically
oh my gosh,
announcing, Dave, who is the best player in California. Emmett defeated Mondo 11-9 in the tiebreaker.
Yeah, talked to Mondo about that match. He said, you know, I felt like I controlled the match all the way through it, but they played on the big court at the South End Rowing Club, which is 2 or 3 feet wider and a little bit longer. And it's just a little different. Mondo doesn't make any excuses, but we will announce that was on a, I would say, a 23 by 42 foot wooden court.
Skip. 1 plays 3.
Emmett's a grinder though, and he'll find a way to stay in matches.
Was that a point? Point. 2 plays 3.
Emmett has only hit 1 kill shot so far. He's got all 3 of his points on left-handed airs from Mondo, who's missed 2 left-hand back walls and 1 left-hand punch fist. And the book on Mondo is that he does not like the slow game. Doesn't like the lob serve. Emmett knows it. Emmett forcing that a little bit.
Side out.
Does a guy like Mondo make you force to
3
take those
plays
shots
4.
when you feel like you did what you wanted to do on the serve? Your mind says, I have to go for this next one?
Well, I was surprised Emmett went for that because I think Emmett would be content to play
4-4.
10-plus shot rallies, hit the first ball back to the ceiling and try and work his way into a better opportunity. Look at that power from Mondo, but great get from Emmett. And then there's Emmett with a good opportunity and takes care of it.
Emmett just hits that ball right down the right wall.
4 plays 4.
And Mondo shanks that. Already his 4th air with his left hand. Notice Mondo the other night
5-4.
eating dinner with his left hand. So he's one of these Alan Garner types where you really don't know what handed he is. Although thus far in this match, his left has been a little shaky.
Well, he told me once that he eats that way not
Side
because
out.
he likes to eat left-handed. He's actually a
4 plays
right-handed
5.
eater, but he wants to train his left hand to be more ambidextrous.
Okay.
It's more doing it for like a science experiment than anything else. But that tells you how much he's even thinking about the sport. I don't think about handball when I'm eating.
Side out.
Mondo won 25-5 yesterday against a guy who came in
5
with
plays 4.
a pretty good resume, Abe Montijo, having played Emmett
Short.
and Paul Brady very close in Tucson.
Second serve.
And he just dismantled Abraham yesterday.
Hold on. Yeah, he stepped aside. Five plays 4 over.
Mondo overhits that, and Emmett takes care of it.
Point.
Mondo will have to be a little bit more patient on these lob serves.
6 plays 4.
Look at that great get from Emmett. And here's a setup.
Oh, and Emmett went for that elite shot into the left corner and hit it in the ground.
Side
Do you
out.
think Emmett's kind of forcing it a little bit here?
Well, Emmett's not letting the ball drop. That's the second one he hasn't let
4
drop with
plays
his right
6.
hand. And when you're hitting the ball on that high to low trajectory, a lot of times it's going to hit the floor first. That's why you want to let the ball drop as low as you can so it
Second
travels
serve.
parallel with the floor. But you see Emmett sometimes does go for those overhand kills with his right. Oh, what a great get from Emmett. And not only a great get, but he wins the rally with a pass shot behind Mondo. Mondo mishit that left-handed corner kill, but Emmett
6 plays 4.
able to make the adjustment.
Mondo was able to catch up to that ball, flip it to the back wall, and ran up forward and almost caught up to the ball that he hit.
Second serve.
Talk about getting back to the red carpet.
This is a great opportunity for Emmett here to make his first ever race final. If he gets by Mondo, he'll play Marcos Chavez, who he's beaten twice this year already.
7 plays 4.
Emmett's still seeking his first yellow jersey.
Hold on. Over. Towel. I don't have a.
Emmett's doing the smart thing here. He's
Did you grab
taking
that?
Mondo out of his rhythm. He's not giving Mondo any rhythm because he's slowing the ball down. He's keeping the ball up above Mondo's waist. Mondo likes the ball below his waist. He can shoot the ball really well with either hand.
A little to your left.
You're watching the
There you go,
Edel
right
Handball Race for 8 Pro Tour number 5 out of 6, Salt Lake City, coming up next month. And this tournament, actually this round right here, is very instrumental in us figuring out who will actually be those named Elite 8 players. We know that
We're playing
Nadi
that over.
Alvarado is in. We know
7
that
plays
Luis
4.
Moreno is in, and Dave Fink, I believe that you're also in. But Alan Garner is in if he accepts the invite. Some names are solidified, but we have to figure out who the other guys are going to be. Emmett and Armando both trying to get in there as well. Dave, sorry.
8
Both
plays
Emmett and
4.
Mondo are in, and I believe the field is set now with Sean Lenning booking his spot last night with the win over Luis Cordova. Very spirited match. We haven't yet received confirmation from Alan Garner as to whether he'll take his invitation. He only has until 6 o'clock tonight local time to make that decision. If Alan Garner doesn't go, Marcos Chavez has a chance, as does Robbie McCarthy. Everybody else mathematically eliminated.
4 plays 8.
So we'll get into that list during our next timeout. But Mondo now, after a good start, led 3-1, now trails 8-4, and he hasn't looked good in these last 8 or 9 points. Had to have given Emmett a lot of confidence to have played Paul Brady so close in Tucson. I know he came up short, losing 15-10, 15-14, and it was just an exhibition, but just to know that you're there against the world's best, I'm sure gave Emmett a huge boost.
He said that it gave him a lot of confidence after the match was over. He said he
plays
really
over.
enjoyed it and he felt like he learned some things.
Short. You appeal? Both
Dave,
agree?
you have updates from that GAA
Second
Women's
serve.
All-Ireland Singles Finals.
Well, it was Aisling Riley winning game 1, 21-11, trails 5-7 in game 2 and serving.
You said that she looks really fit.
I've never seen her this fit. She looks really lean and really strong.
Side out. We have 4 plays 8.
I want to thank GAA Handball for providing the live feed, and you can watch it. Go onto their website at gaahandball.ie to get viewing instructions.
Mondo goes for a nearly impossible left-handed right corner kill off 1
8
foot.
plays 4.
Mondo's frustrated because he hit the crack there and it looked like it'd be a side out, but Emmett just digs it out.
9
Needed a
plays 4.
credit card to get underneath that ball, but he does it, and then Mondo makes another error. And this is exactly what Emmett wants. Mondo shooting that lob serve return with Emmett standing in the front court. Emmett's able to take over the rally.
4 plays 9.
I've noticed the power servers having a lot of difficulty keeping the ball off the back wall. I think it has a lot to do with
9 plays 4.
the altitude here. The ball just travels a little bit faster through the air.
Also, Dave, it seems like this front wall is about as hard as you'll ever see in any handball court. I don't know if it's some type of rare metal or something back there, but it seems like the ball just jumps off that front wall.
1 minute, 10-4 when we resume.
Titanium covered with white paint. Seems like if you overhit a ball, it just jumps up off the front wall. There's a 1 minute break here. Must be a kind of a
Aisling
strange.
Riley now leading 9-7 in the second game. She won the first. This is live updates from the All-Ireland Ladies Championship.
Must be on like a 5 or 6 point run right here for Aisling.
It doesn't look like the same Katrina that we're used to seeing, but a lot of that has to do with Aisling. Aisling is just putting pressure on her. You know that these two have met 4 times in the last year, splitting those meetings 2 apiece. Aisling defeating Katrina in the Irish Nationals and also at the USHA 4-Wall Nationals. They will meet again in 1 month in Salt Lake City as both ladies qualified for the first ever women's Race for 8 Players Championship. That'll be a unique format, and they will be guaranteed to meet there.
10 seconds.
Dave, how strange is it, do you
All right,
think,
guys,
for
play resumes.
Marcos Chavez, who
serves 10,
is sort of the
plays
life
4.
coach and mentor of Mondo Ortiz, best friends rooming together. He gets to play Mondo if Mondo wins. And he's in here on the right side glass giving him advice. And certainly he doesn't want to play Mondo in the next round in the semifinals. I mean, he said, you know, this is one of the toughest players there is.
11 plays 4.
But he's up here in a situation where he might give the advice that helps the guy that he doesn't really want to play.
Well, a lot of times you face those circumstances in handball. There's a lot of good friendships on the tour. You always want your buddy to win, even if he's going to play you next.
12 plays 4.
I would think Marcos would rather play Mondo. He beat him last time they played in a tournament in Tucson. He's lost to Emmett the last 2 times, although Marcos said that Emmett's the guy he wants to play. He wants to beat him. He wants that scalp.
That's Marcos you hear pounding on the glass, Doug Clark style, trying to motivate his young protege.
And you see Mondo now completely overhitting balls. And now he's off balance. And Emmett with his third right-handed air. That was an easy shot. Uncharacteristic, poor footwork from Emmett as he reached for that instead of taking a couple short steps. And Mondo does well there. He throttles back a little bit on that serve and gets the setup. It's just very difficult to hit that right corner when you're falling off balance. You can't get the right spin on it.
12 plays
and
5.
Consequently, it'll hit the side wall and drop down, hit the floor.
Point. 13 plays 5. Short. Second serve.
I don't think this is the start that any of us expected in this match. And Mondo can't keep that down, and Emmett will keep it alive. Here's a opportunity for Emmett as he's controlling the action now.
Okay.
Mondo will need to outscore Emmett 20-11.
Side out. 5 plays 13.
If he's going to come back and win this match. He'll have to score 2 out of 3 points for the remainder of this match.
That's not easy to do.
No.
Not against Emmett, nor in this elevation.
You know, you get so tired in this elevation, you start to think to yourself, how am I ever going to score another point, let alone 20?
Wow. You're right. Mondo doesn't get credit for being a get artist, but he really does get to a lot of balls.
And look at that air from Emmett, and I think Emmett's gets are just frustrating Mondo now. Mondo's hit a lot of shots that he didn't expect to come back, and they're coming back. He's being forced to hit one extra shot, sometimes 2 or 3. And when you force your opponent to do that, you're going to bring a lot of airs into the equation. And there's another air. Would you have thought that Emmett would have 5 unreturned serves?
No.
All on lob serves?
But Dave, you know this, talk about this elevation, it has this weird thing that does to your brain. It makes you actually feel defeated, where you don't care if you win or lose. You just want to get the heck out of the court. Sometimes you just make wrong decisions.
Yeah.
Just like when we were in Vegas and the weather was so hot there that you didn't care whether or not you were even playing handball. You felt like the best thing you could do to win would be to get off the court. And that's kind of what it does here. And now you see Emmett, who just is just an amazing athlete and in shape, and he's handing it to Mondo here.
Yeah. Well, you feel like Emmett is playing steady right now, but he can go even to another gear if he needs it. Right now, he's playing a tremendous, he's executing a tremendous game plan as he takes now a 15-5 lead into halftime. But you see a lot of guys, Dave, I think, come in and just say, you know what, I'm just going to play my game, do what I do. But Emmett clearly came into this match with a game plan. He's got tactics and a strategy, and he's just executing it to the T. I mean, it's as though he drew up the X's and O's on the chalkboard, and he's doing it.
Yeah.
You know, Vince Lombardi put the power sweep up there, and Emmett's put the lob serve and pressure, and that's what he's doing now. Mondo's frustrated. Doesn't look like the guy that we saw yesterday or the guy in New York, and all that is due to Emmett. I mean, remember, Mondo was just a hair from taking the first game from Paul Brady in New York. Now he's 10 minutes from being knocked out of this tournament. And as you said, just having it handed to him right now.
Well, Mondo Ortiz has got a major mountain to climb. Earlier today in the quarterfinals of the 40s, Matt McLaughlin got past Dan Armijo 25-17. He advances to the semis. He will play yours truly at 1 o'clock or so today. John Bike at halftime trailing versus Bear Marion 11-15. And John said 10 points away from retirement. You
know, we can't officially name that Senior Race Freight Players Championship yet because Dave, you could win the event and sneak into that Elite Four. John Bike could lose and open the door for somebody else based on those 5 through 8 playoffs. Tyler Hamill could somehow stay alive. I mean, there's just so many factors that could happen. We've got Gary Scoggin, who's in this event. He could win this event.
A lot of strange things. Gary is an amazing player.
So I don't even want to speculate yet at this point, but I will announce that Luis Moreno, Nadia Alvarado, Emmett Peixoto, Armando Ortiz, myself, Sean Lenning have qualified for the Players' Championship in Salt Lake City. Alan Garner has also qualified but has not yet accepted his invitation. And I know a lot of you are saying, well, how can that be? I mean, he's earned his way there and there's 20,000 for first, but Alan started a new job and it's hard for him to get away.
I guess, you know, sometimes when you get that first important job and you don't have vacation time, family time, that stuff reserved out, and it's one of those positions that he's been wanting to get for a long time. He has to make a life decision, and this is, it hurts us as handball fans, but it's just one of those rare things that happens every now and then.
Well, he's also celebrating his daughter's first birthday today. Remember, she was born at this tournament last year, and now Erikita is 1 year old, so happy birthday to her, and congratulations to Alan and
What's
Erica.
The update, and I agree with you on that, congrats, update on the Women's All-Ireland Senior Championship. And I know the first game went to Aisling Riley 21-11, but here in game 2.
It's Katrina serving at 10-16, so Aisling Riley just 5 points from winning this championship.
5 plays 15.
It's similar to what we're seeing here, Dave, with Emmett and Armando, where Katrina doesn't look like the Katrina that we're used to seeing, but that's because of what Aisling's doing. Just like this 15-5 scoreline is because of what Emmett's doing.
Right. Do you think, Dave, I mean, I hate to even put the speculation out there, that sometimes a player will look past the round that they're currently playing to think of the next round and that they just didn't get focused?
Well, I'm not sure that's happening here. I mean, Armando knows he's in for a serious battle. Emmett beat him last time they played in a big match. Wasn't on the race, but...
Yeah, I don't mean it in the way that he thinks that he's going to beat Emmett, meaning that he thinks he's going to beat the guy he's going to play in the next round, and that's more weighing on your mind than the actual match, right? You know, at your plate. This one he knows is a 50-50 type deal coming into it. I should have clarified. I think that you look into that semis and you say, man, I really want to get there because I think I can make that semifinal work for me. But you forget about your current match.
Well, after what I've seen here thus far this morning, I've got Emmett on my short list to win yellow here.
Yeah, I agree. He looks really good.
I mean, he's in my top 3 right now.
Especially.
And I'll tell you, I've got Luis, Paul Brady, and Emmett basically all even money. I see the 3 of them being the favorites, and really any of those 3 wouldn't surprise me to win.
17-5.
17-5. I thought Ortiz had 6 there.
And you see what happens. Mondo's being completely dominated, and your feet stop moving. I mean, that's a ball Mondo would normally get, but when you're just completely deflated because you're trailing so big, it just seems like nothing works, not even your movement. And Emmett's even there for that.
Yeah, that was a 1-inch high kill shot that kind of popped up about 3 inches, and Emmett just missed rolling the next shot out off that sidewall crack. 5-18 is the score. Mondo just trying to get something going. Emmett has a great return of serve this tournament.
It is now match point, Dave, in the All-Ireland Ladies Championship. Aisling Riley serving. 5-shot rally so far.
You appeal the serve? I saw it good. Both agree it was good. 5 plays 18.
Score is 10-20, so that match is just about over. Aisling makes an error on her first attempt to win it, but Katrina will have literally no room for error. Very similar to Mondo here, who has very little room for error. You can say, well, he's still got to get to 25, but you have to realize you basically have to play perfect handball.
Yeah.
at this point.
18 plays 5.
And it's just incredible how this can happen in sports where we saw Mondo just completely dominate Emmett. I thought the best I'd ever seen Mondo play at the Plummer event, where he beat Emmett in the semifinals there, 16-11. They play again a couple months later. Emmett beats him 11-9 in the tiebreaker. Now Emmett's completely turned the tables.
Yeah, and it even in this match, it began with a 4-0 lead for Mondo Ortiz, who's only scored 1 point since out of the next 20.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a complete domination. And it
if
looked like Emmett was out of sorts to start the match. Now he looks like he's just in complete control.
If you would have said that Emmett's going to lob serve the whole match and Mondo's going to power serve and Emmett's going to have 3 times more aces, you could get some good odds on that.
He might move to Vegas because of those.
And Mondo now just flooring everything.
Now that's defeating too.
Yeah.
Because especially when you have them and you can't do it, and then it just keeps doing it to you over and over.
Well, those are more rhythm shots. You know, you take that ball off the back wall from 38 feet and you roll it out. That's what you do when you're in rhythm and you're really feeling it. But when you're just struggling, those are low percentage shots, and that may not make sense, but when you're feeling it, it's a high percentage shot. When you're not, you're going to hit the floor most of the time. And Aisling Riley now in that familiar pose with both arms raised. She's now won the Ladies Senior All-Ireland Championship. So congratulations to her, and good for us, Dave. We're going to see their 6th encounter in the last year in just 1 month in Salt Lake City. And you know Katrina will be
21 plays 5.
extremely motivated for that. And you see Mondo overhitting now. That ball was way behind him. Mondo's just off balance. He's not getting his feet behind any of these shots. And that ball's still behind him.
It seems to me it's behind him, and he lifts up instead of staying down with that ball.
Well, this is the Mondo that we saw a couple years ago when if he got down, he just seemed to sort of implode.
He appeals. Both agree. Second serve.
And it's happened here. And that's another
a strange bounce back there.
I thought that was going to be Emmett's 7th ace on a lob serve.
Point.
That ball checked up in that back right corner, just stopped. Might have hit that. There's nothing in that court. Actually, it didn't hit anything.
23 plays 5.
Emmett just about to put the stamp on this match as he's just 1 point away from a shocking 25-5 potential win.
That could be it. Oh, and the referee's going to call it over.
I don't think so. That's definitely not the right call. And Dave, we now have confirmation that Alan Garner will be in Salt Lake City.
He will be here?
Yes.
Okay.
He will be at the Players' Championship.
Wow. There it is. Emmett Peixoto takes down Armando Ortiz and comes down to the semifinals here in Denver, Colorado, where he will face Marco Chavez later this afternoon. So, Dave, I think this was unexpected. It was expected for some, unexpected for others, maybe 50-50, I'm not quite sure, because Mondo has been playing very hot. We saw how well he played against Paul Brady in New York, but also, as I said when we started this broadcast, that the hottest players in handball right now are arguably Dermot Nash, maybe throw Robbie McCarthy in there, certainly Armando Ortiz and Emmett Peixoto. I felt those were the 4 hottest players in handball. Paul Brady has been hot since, 2005. But nonetheless, Mondo kind of let us down just a little bit, I felt.
Well, you can't play your best every day, and that's just the way sports is. And Mondo clearly didn't have his best, but Emmett had a lot to do with that. Emmett has a style that is hard to understand unless you get in there with him. And he really knows how to play different opponents. The more he plays them, the more he's able to adjust. And that's, I think, what we saw here today. Emmett didn't really have an answer for Mondo's style in October when they played. Then he clearly figured something out, beating them their next time and now just crushing them.
Well, coming up next, we're going to have a marquee match as Paul Brady goes up against Sean Linney. We're going to have a good, I would say, 30-minute break. Is that about right?
Yes.
I used to have a watch, and it's not on my hand, so don't know what happened to it. But we have 30 minutes until the next match comes up, so as entertaining as that last one was, it only took about 30 minutes, so we're going to have a nice little break here as Sean Linney and the gunner from Ireland, Paul Brady, play in the upper bracket semifinal. We'll have more action in 30 minutes. Stick with us here at racefor8.com.
Working and working out takes a lot of energy. That's why I drink Zenergy. Feeling fantastic and looking good has never been easier. Science, extreme science for your active lifestyle.
My life is full of statistics. Thing is, I could have dropped out of school and become one myself, but I didn't because I had people that believed in me. Here's another statistic. 7,000 students drop out every school day. That's one every 26 seconds. It's time that students know that we believe in them.
Inspire a student and share your message of support at boostup.org.